Hi, everybody. It's Sunday evening. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wentz. Lots of cool things to talk about tonight. I normally don't dive into the space chat, but there are quite a few things going on that are of interest that I want to share with you. So we'll talk about not just our northern light viewing potential, maybe. It's got to clear out. We'll talk about that. There's a meteor shower ongoing as well that actually peaks last night and tonight. So there's that. We'll talk about that. And then it's just cool outside. I mean, where'd the warmth go? I know that was kind of unseasonably warm, but we've kind of jumped back into this just cooler pattern around here. We were highlighting this last week on Region Weather Live that this cold front that went by on Friday would have some staying power with it. And it really does. As we go throughout much of the week, we are looking chilly. I've got an explanation on why. I'll show you the big picture pattern across the northern hemisphere and when we think this thing is going to break. We'll run our open here. We'll talk about all those things, space weather and weather down here at the surface. All come up in the Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And we'll see if my works. It hasn't been working, so patient. We'll probably at some point here. I'm not sure. You got this over here, guys. Kimberly. Rita's with us. Hi, Rita. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Sunday. Man, things are just so delayed. I hit run to my open on here, to do the video that we worked so hard at, and it just freezes for like 20 seconds. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, speaking of frozen, I think we all are as well. Kimberly's with us. Rita's with us. Hello, Rita. Carl says it's just cold out. I know we've got a freeze warning tonight. We'll talk about that. Let's see. Ann's with us. Hi, Ann. Vicky, good evening to you. Susan wants a warm up. Mary's with us tonight. Gail, Aaron, hello. Michelle, hello from Northwest Indiana. Nick's with us. Hey, buddy. And hi to you, Susan. All right, let's jump into it, everybody. We've got a lot to talk about here. First and foremost, let's thank our sponsors briefly. Again, they keep the show for free, so let's give them their time. I want to start with Tiger Plumbing. If you are not familiar with Tiger Plumbing, they are Northwest Indiana's favorite plumbers, and you can ask anyone in Region Weather. A lot of you have used them. They never charge a trip fee or a service fee. They're awesome. TigerPlumbing.net. We've got Ewing Mechanical Services. They're running a spring sale right now. They're fantastic as well. A lot of you have written back that you've used them. They're great. They're very efficient. They're a good price as well. But they have a spring sale right now. You can save $1,000 on a new Amana AC and furnace, or you save $500 on the AC. I know we don't need air conditioning right now, but they've got a great sale on it because, it's cold outside. So not a lot of people are getting AC. So if you're in the market for AC, again, it's ewingmech.com. That's for everything furnace, AC, whatever it happens to be inside your house. PSA, they are a wonderful sponsor of ours as well. It's Public Service Adjusters. What is that? You're wondering, what the heck is PSA? They're licensed insurance adjusters that if you have any claim or any damage to your house, whether it be from weather or something else, and you don't want to deal with it, they'll deal with it for you, and they'll often get you more money from it for your insurance company because insurance companies like to short you. So they'll take care of the entire process for you from start to finish. They'll file your claim. They'll give you estimates, and they don't get any money unless you get money. And oftentimes, again, it pays for itself. 5-star reviews from everyone that's used them in Northwest Indiana. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. One that's near and dear to me, stjude.org, the stjudehouse.org. We've been talking about them for a while. They specialize in domestic abuse, right? In helping people. They're a nonprofit. They're local here to Northwest Indiana. All residential, non-residential services that they have are confidential, and they're at no cost, which is awesome. Domestic abuse, not fun to talk about. It can be physical, emotional, verbal, or financial. If you know someone that's going through something like that, stjudehouse.org. They can certainly help, and they're a wonderful group of people there that have great hearts. Two more for you. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They have new specials on Dodge Rams right now. Also, they have specials on Jeeps. They're a wonderful family-owned business in Valpo, right off US 30. They're Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And then finally, last but not least, it's a time of year for lawn care. We have Lance's Lawn Care with us. Lance and his team have already done a couple properties here of Region Weather folks, whether it be just planting stuff, whether it be mowing, or whether it be a complete landscape do-over. Lance and his team will do it. 219-869-8474. They're also very active here on Facebook. All right. So thank you for giving me the time to share about our sponsors. But guys, if you want to support us in any way, that's the way to do it. Just go through our sponsors, let them know Region Weather sent you. Okay. All right. Couple things going on tonight. We've got excitement in the skies. Problem is we have some lingering clouds around. So this is going to be kind of a problem. All right. But the Aurora Borealis it could be, which is Northern Lights. We could see it tonight. And this happens every now and then, but pretty good magnetic field going on. And this goes all the way down to the lower 48. So the chance that we see it is, I got to be honest with you, it's very low still on the scale of things, but there's a chance. And there's not usually a chance here as far south as Northwest Indiana. So you can see the outlook. This is the 30-minute forecast. This is from NOAA, which they do space weather too. And you can see we've got a probability. It's very low. It's a 1 out of 4 plus, but 10, 15, 20% chance of seeing it. If you have not seen Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights locally, if you haven't traveled up north, I saw it as a kid once, and it was the coolest thing ever. And it was the middle of the night. It was a clear night, and the sky turned red, and it started doing this like wavy thing, and it was unbelievable. And then it turned like greenish off towards the north, and then it just all kind of went away. It was seriously the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, you guys have seen videos, but the experience firsthand is pretty cool. So when do we see it? It would be any time now, but we just need the clouds to clear out. And that's the problem. We have some clouds around. I mean, you don't have to stay up late to see this thing. Cover. Yeah. Satellite, but apparently because the sun goes down very quickly. But anyway, we did have some clouds around early. You can see right there, we've got some clearing coming in from the west. There's a little bit of clearing as you get out towards Rockford. It's kind of partly cloudy. We still have clouds here, though. That's the problem. So, is it going to clear out? There's a chance we get some drier air in here tonight, but it's not going to be full on clear. But I think we'll have enough holes that you could see it, and you're going to want to look north, obviously. I don't think I need to tell you that. So, and Susan said they are amazing. She saw it here in Northwest Indiana quite a few years ago. And I think that quite a few years ago is when I saw it too, Susan. So really, really good stuff. So there's a chance for that tonight. Also, there's the Lyrid meteor shower. It's not typically a big meteor shower. It tends to be a dud. But if you are a meteor shower fan, this one has been going all month. Again, it peaked over the weekend. Tonight's still a pretty decent peak for it. You want to look to the northeast sky of this one. This is going to be a 3 a.m.er where you see it best. You want to get away from any city lights that you have. You want to look towards the northeast sky. There's a bright star called Vega in the northeast sky, and you want to look for that bright star. You can't miss it. It's not a planet. You want to look for about 5 minutes. 3 a.m. is the best time. You may see a couple meteors, okay? If that's worth it to you, that's awesome. To me, that's not worth it to get up and see a couple meteors. But as a public service announcement, I feel as a meteorologist, with the word meteor in it, even though I didn't take an astronomy class, a lot of people think we did. We study atmosphere down, right? But anyway, with the word meteor in it, I feel like I need to let you know that. Also, our astronomer, he's not a region weather astronomer, but he's an astronomer. He also let me know that Mercury is in retrograde. All right. So if you are one of the believers of, whatever that means, whether you're going to have a good week or not, I'm not sure. But I thought that was cool. Mercury moves very fast around the sun, especially compared to Earth, right? So Mercury is always changing in the sky. It takes 88 Earth days for Mercury to make a whole pass around the sun. And Mercury's almost never in the same spot in our sky. And it's very hard to see in our sky because normally it's just not visible. And I guess it will be visible a couple times, he says, but it's in retrograde now. So it's going to get lower and lower in the sky. And it's really going to be a tough thing to see. But if that affects your sinuses or whatever it is when Mercury is in retrograde. Just want to let you know that. All right, that's enough astronomy. That's more astronomy than I've given you in the last like 6 years. So there's that. Let's get to the forecast. We're in a cool pattern right now, right? It was a chilly weekend. Where are the 80-degree days? Those were so nice while they lasted, or maybe not, depending on your experience. Here's what we're in right now, and here's what's going to happen the next 10 to 15 days. Okay. This is a look at temperatures in the upper atmosphere. We call these thickness values. Only thing you need to know is this shows weather patterns. So you can see this big old dip in the eastern half where we are, and then subsequently warm out west. And then there's this big ridge that heads in, depending on how high or how low this ridge is. This is called a North Atlantic oscillation. Okay, you hear a lot about that. A lot of people will talk about, the Pacific oscillation or the NAO, which is the North Atlantic oscillation. A lot of times you'll hear that as a buzzword for if it's going to be a bad winter or a decent winter, right? These patterns tend to stick around and they tend to get stuck. And what we have right now is a blocking pattern. So wherever you see this big kind of shape stuck, and so because this is stuck. So watch why we're cold now, and watch how we just kind of stay cool as we go through time. This is Monday into Tuesday. Everything looks the same. This ridge is still stuck up here towards Greenland. Until this ridge moves, nothing behind it can move. Everything just kind of sits in place. And so this big old trough that we have bringing the cooler temperatures than average just kind of sits in place. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, here we go. Thursday, it's still there. We're moderating a little bit, and we will see a little moderation this week, but we're not going to see 70s and 80s because of this. There's no big ridge coming east. We're still in that cool pattern. And then watch what happens next weekend. We kind of break out of it. There's still a little ridging there. We kind of break out of it and get some warmer air in here, but the whole thing kind of reestablishes itself with another big system next weekend. You can see this is Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. We get another system that brings another ridge into that same spot of the country, and that is May 1st. And look how this is kind of continues with cooler air, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th, and then it looks like after that, once we get into the 5th, 6th, 7th, again, according to this model, not saying this is 100% accurate, but you notice how things start to move after that, all right? That's when we'll get our true, hey, we're back to May. We'll probably get 60s, 70s, maybe some 80s again, all right? But that holds. I mean, we're talking another week of this. It doesn't mean it's bad, right? It won't be quite as cool as this weekend. 50s and 60s are still very comfortable this time of year for us. So keep that in mind as we go forward. So let's talk rainfall chances. That's the why behind everything. So we know we're going to be cooler than average this week, if not near average later this week with a little bump. But in terms of rainfall, we've got a couple systems to watch. No major systems until next weekend. I'll just start by saying that. But we've got this little system. Today, we had very slow-moving showers that came off the lake. They were mainly lake effect kind of showers because we have the cooler air spilling over the lake. There was a little system helping to enhance that. Most of us were dry today, but we did have showers out east, areas of Porter and LaPorte counties up into Michigan. Tonight, we've got a couple leftover, then that should kind of dry up. Tomorrow during the day, though, we have another chance of just a couple showers bubbling up. I think most areas are dry. It's tomorrow night that we get another little shortwave in here, a little area of energy. This will swing out of Wisconsin. Yes, it is snowing. Not for us. We're not going to have that. But watch how the system zips through as we go into Monday night and Tuesday, and that will bring some showers. So we do have some showers in the forecast on Tuesday. They should clear out by afternoon and evening. That little trough should swing by. But it's kind of a reinforcing shot of some cooler air. So we're going to stay upper 40s, low 50s tomorrow. Same thing on Tuesday. And then we'll start to moderate things Wednesday into Thursday. So here we go. This is our little moderation this week. It's going to come with two really parts to the system that's going to set us up for next weekend. There's a system that zips by to the north. Our eyes are going to turn down towards the south. There's going to be an area of low pressure that heads through Tennessee. This is Thursday and the Friday. We're fairly dry, middle to latter half of the week until this thing comes together. There's going to be a piece of energy down to the south, down towards Tennessee. This is coming north. At the same time, we've got a frontal boundary and an area of low pressure coming in from the northwest. All of this is going to come together, and it's going to spin like a top. It'll spin up this fairly large storm system next weekend as it looks right now. And what's interesting is all the models agree on this in some form, right? But really, there's really good agreement on this. So I'm pretty confident in saying that it's going to rain next weekend. So as this comes in, here's our system Friday into Saturday, bringing rain through the Ohio Valley. Here comes our towards the west. It looks at this point like we've escaped both systems, right? We're dry right now, but watch how these both spin up together right there. It all kind of comes together and forms a big old area of low pressure. And this low pressure looks to be a pretty rainy one. And this would be Saturday into Sunday. Where does the track of this low go? That's what is going to be the difference maker at this point, and we just don't know. The GFS brings it further west. The Canadian model has it stronger. It has a windy, rainy weekend next weekend. And this is the Euro model, which I trust the best. You notice how it brings rain through here Saturday. Rain, it clears us out on Sunday. I don't know if I buy that because there's another system coming in. The Euro also paints valleys of Pennsylvania there. But you can see this system kind of swirls up right over the Great Lakes. And the whole thing goes by, and then it swirls back in. And so it looks like the beginning of not this week, but the beginning of next week, as of right now, features a low pressure with kind of crummy weather, like 40s and 50s for a couple of days with just rain and wind. We'll see if that goes away because the warm air isn't far off, because this has us starting to moderate by May 2nd and 3rd. Again, we'll see on that. But that's kind of the long-term forecast, is that we are going to stay cooler than average. We've got a nice little bump. We'll probably make it upper 50s, maybe low 60s this Thursday into Friday, depending on where that low goes. But not going to be a terrible week. But as we're looking forward through time, it does look like we have another cool down next weekend. And then once that one's gone, we should start to warm up around here. We should have our warm air back, okay? Okay, I see your comments. All right, be happy to answer your questions. That's what I've got for you weather-wise. So again, I hope that helps you plan your week. Just having a little inside baseball in terms of, what's going on weather-wise. But that's what we're looking at, okay, in terms of the next 10 days. Also, if any of you do see the Northern Lights tonight, please tag us on our page, all right? And even if it's a really bad picture, even if it's like of a neighbor's light on their garage, I would love to see it, okay? So thank you for that. All right, so let's see what we've got. Susan commenting on the retrograde about Mercury. Derek, hello to you. Susan, hi. Sherry saying my wife needs to get off Wi-Fi. I think she's doing Discovery Plus right now, which actually is merging with HBO. If you haven't heard that, HBO is going to be just called Max, which is interesting because back in the day, Max was like the risque, Cinemax or whatever that was. I don't know why they're going with Max. Keep it HBO, But anyway, they're taking on Discovery Plus. So I think that's one less bill from us. I'm not sure how that works for you. Aaron, you're welcome for keeping you updated. Tom asked a good question. He says, when is Lake Michigan going to start to warm up? That's half the reason why we're getting some of these lake effect showers when we have cooler air. Tom, Lake Michigan is at its warmest in August and September, right? Much like all the water is after a long summer of heating up. The water is actually dangerous this time of year. If you're a boater and you fall in, you can get hypothermia real fast in 40-degree lake water. So it takes a while, my friend. And, this time of year, obviously the cooler water of Lake Michigan keeps our lakeshore areas cooler on a warm day if there's not a lot of wind around. You think about it, over Lake Michigan, we've got cold water, right? That has a cold air mass up above it, and cold air is heavy and dense. So that cold air, that marine layer that you're used to hearing about, sits right over the water. Well, if you don't have any wind to push it around, it's heavy and dense, so it likes to expand out. So that's what your lake breeze is if there's not a strong wind on a given day, that lake breeze or that cold air out over the lake expands inland. If you have wind, it tends to keep it out over the lake, which is interesting. But that's certainly what that is. Let's see. So, Aaron, you're welcome. Yeah, Chrissy's not happy with this weather for baseball. She had rain and sleet, wind and cold. Chrissy, I ran a 10-mile race this weekend, and it was pouring rain and 42 degrees. I've run a lot of races, and I've never run one in pouring rain. And I thought I'd hate it. I really thought it was going to be miserable. But it wasn't bad. It was kind of peaceful, and it felt good as a runner. There were a lot of people in this race too. But for baseball, that's a little different, especially if you're a spectator. So I feel you on that. Teresa, you're welcome. Michelle, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. So Susan asked a good question. How much rain are we getting this week? Susan, let's look at it together. we can look at a couple model runs here and total it out. Doesn't look like a whole lot. Worried about flooding this week or anything like that. So that looks like a lot, but that's all the way through May, and that's not even a lot. So as we go through this week, here you go, just some lighter amounts with that Tuesday system. And then most of it's going to come with that weekend system, and it doesn't look like a ton right now. It just looks kind of showery. So through Saturday, we're talking maybe a quarter of an inch at best. That's not much, pretty light amounts. And then through next weekend, you can see we add maybe another quarter to half an inch. So this is right around average. This might even be a little bit below average for this time of year. But we'll have to watch, because if this low comes further west, we could get in some of these 1-2 inch totals. Let me show you the GFS. The GFS is a little further west with that run. So this is how much rain we're expecting through May 2nd. So this is a week and a half here. And it's indicating upwards of an inch around here. So nothing too crazy, but certainly, some rain around here. Let's see. Maxwell says, "Hey, Matt, is there any science of why when it thunders, then all of a sudden it rains real heavy?" Oh, that's interesting, Maxwell. No, there's in my mind, at least from my knowledge, there's no correlation to that. That just might be something you're noticing, when a storm moves in, but the thunder's not correlated to the rain. That rain's going to keep going no matter what. If there was science behind it, Maxwell, it would be the fact that to produce that heavy rain, you have to have lots of uplift, to create that heaviness in the clouds. And a lot of times where that uplift is where you have the heavy rain. You also have the air going up when you have downdrafts around it. Bottom line, you're creating lightning within that as well. So you tend to have the most lightning, right before or right after that rain starts in that initial hit. So that's probably the correlation to it. Aaron, I wouldn't call it a washout Saturday afternoon, evening quite yet. That's a tough call just because we don't know the track of the low. It does look rainy at this point, though. But is it a morning shower and we clear out for 8 hours? That would be a big difference for you. So we'll continue to kind of watch that trend. Mike says, ready to ride his bike to work. When will it be decent enough out constantly? Mike, usually it's mid to late May around here. It really is. And it's to be constantly nice. I mean, I would say wait till June, but we can get some real nice stretches here in May. But until then, it's a gamble. It really is. And even in June, we can get these rainy patterns, kind of like we're falling into, with a low pressure that just swirls over the same area. We could certainly have nice weather this time of year, but it can also go the opposite. And that's what keeps it interesting. Susan, I don't see any hail this week. No, I don't. If you're talking about earlier this week, like the Tuesday system, we could have some graupel in that. It wouldn't be hail. It would be the little grop and the Dippin' Dots that fall, just because we've got a lot of cold air aloft. But I don't see any big hailstorms or anything like that in terms of that. Mary says, my granddaughter's first T-ball game was yesterday, and they finished it just before it started hailing. Not good baseball weather. Yeah, it's been pretty nasty, Mary. It is. We had some hail at our house too. It's real interesting skies. And then there's a rainbow right after that. This is rainbow weather too, because you get these the checkerboard pattern on the radar where you have sun and then all that stuff. So that's it. Ginger, that's okay. She's asking about northern lights. Ginger, there's a chance we can see them tonight. Again, you just look north. The chance the aurora borealis potential usually doesn't come this far south. And with this last solar flare, it's a pretty good one. So, odds are you're probably not going to see it. It's like a 10 to 20% chance. But you look north, and we need the skies to clear out. Right now, there's some clouds, but we are going to go partly cloudy tonight. And also, I mentioned this earlier, there is a freeze warning tonight. We are going to get down to freezing or below, especially where we start to clear out. So any plants you've got outside, go ahead, bring them in. Tomorrow night's warmer, but then we go back to the cold, waking up Wednesday, right? Am I right on that? Yeah, waking up Wednesday and waking up Thursday. So Tuesday night, that night's cold. Wednesday night, that night's cold. Our last post on Region Weather talked about that. So you guys, I made a nice little graphic for you too. Oh, Chrissy, I'm so sorry. I'm seeing you got your pod ordered. That's awesome. Our daughter just started soccer. I told you guys this last week. She's not any good. She's getting better though. The coach knows that I work on TV. He watches me on TV. And so I think he's just kind of being nice, And so he was like, oh, has she been practicing? And I'm like, no, she hasn't been at all. She's still really bad. But I don't know, he's real nice. So that was nice of him to make us think that she's getting better. Anyway, that pod thing sounds awesome. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. All right, Chrissy, I see your comment on there too. All right, guys, I guess that's it in terms of questions. So that's great. James and Nancy, thank you for your comment. Thank you for spending time with me on Sunday night. I really do appreciate it. You guys are like family. I would love for some time for us all to get coffee together. I mean it. Next time we're heading to Chicago or Northwest Indiana, we'll certainly let you know. And I mean it. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do a little region weather get together so I can meet you all, because really you're my family on Sunday nights and during the week when the going gets rough. So there's that. Anyway, appreciate you. What we're going to do here this week is business as usual. I mean, we'll be on the radio side of things every single morning. So check us out on there. We may do another Facebook Live on, I can't do it Wednesday night. It might be Thursday or Friday night going into the weekend, because I want you guys to have a good idea, not graphic wise, but verbally. We'll talk through the weekend rain chances. So we'll keep you updated with that. Okay. All right. Enjoy your week, everybody. Go get it. You can do it. That's going to be a cooler than average week, but it'll be a nice spring-like week. Could be a lot worse around here. So please enjoy your Sunday night and enjoy your work week. We'll talk to you soon.